the last one that I wanted to talk about, it's my favorite Christmas song of all time. And I was surprised to read that a lot of people don't like it, was Little Drummer Boy by David Bowie and Bing Crosby.
It's creepy.
It's weird. I did some digging into it and a little bit of like how, because it's such a weird pairing. You know, the
I don't think
two
you
of
get
them.
any more weird than that.
I guess the whole story behind that was like, in 1977, Bing Crosby had been doing this like PBS special every year, this holiday thing. It was like a tradition that he would do this show, and it had like skits and songs and stuff like that. And David Bowie desperately needed to clean up his image. It was really public that he was a drug addict. He had done an interview with Playboy that year where he said, Adolf Hitler is one of the world's first rock stars. So he had some image problems. So he decided, or somebody in his camp decided to get him on this show to help clean up his image. Neither of them wanted to do it. Bing Crosby's kids were David Bowie's fans.
Oh, they were huge.
And David Bowie's mom was a Bing Crosby fan. And they said that when David Bowie and his wife showed up on set, Bowie had the makeup on, he had an earring. He was wearing an all white fur coat, and Bing Crosby was like,
"What the fuck?"
Bing Crosby didn't even know who he was.
Bing Crosby didn't want to do it with Bowie just as much as Bowie didn't want to do it with Bing. But you have to give it up to Bing Crosby's daughter because she's the one that made it happen. She was like, "Dad, you don't understand. This is David Bowie."
Yeah.
You know, and then I guess Bowie's mom was like, "You do not understand." You know.
Yeah, it's like it's two worlds. Yeah. And they said that and then Bowie didn't want to do the song. And
it's, you know, them together made it a great song.
Yeah. Well,
it's not one of my favorite Christmas
songs.
songs.
Bowie didn't want to do it to begin with. And then the producers, they said they ran in another room and they wrote that extra bridge that David Bowie sings to give him something else they kind of cobbled in.
That's the best part of the
Peace
song.
on Earth, because Bowie wanted to be doing something more in the song. And you can watch the video from the special. I watched the whole hour-long special the other day. And it's so weird that like Bowie knocks on the house and he asks he asked Bing Crosby if he's the butler.
It was so weird.
And it's just like it's a weird interaction. Bowie hated it. They said Bowie hated that up until his death. He hated it. And it was, they recorded in September of 77. Bing Crosby has a massive heart attack golfing the next month and he dies. And then there was all this like, shit, should we put this out or not?
They'd be crazy not to put it
out. So they were like, well, what do we do? And they aired it. It became really popular and it was bootlegged for a long time. It wasn't available. Like you couldn't buy a recording of it. And then 1982, MTV starts.
I remember.
And Christmas time is coming in and they want to play Christmas stuff and they don't have anything. There's no videos of Christmas music because videos had just started. So they started playing that. And that then the RCA puts it out as a single because everybody loves it. And that's where it blows up, where it became a hit. It's just like this cool
MTV, man. They really had everybody by the balls.
Yeah.
They really did. They were like, we're going to make this popular.
Yeah.
They made it so popular. It's a pop culture iconic thing.
And then in the whole special too, there's a weird part where he's talking to Twiggy, Bing Crosby, the actress.
Yeah.
And then it just fades into David Bowie singing Heroes.
Which was pretty awesome.
It was really weird. It was cool, but it was really weird.
No, but that was a great version of Heroes.
Yeah, it's a really weird special.
If you ever want to weird yourself out, check it out.
You can find it on YouTube. Again, that's my favorite Christmas song. But
I could play a little bit of it.
Oh yeah, I guess I should play a little bit of it.
Please.
They told me, bum a newborn king to see, bum our finest gifts we bring, bum.
I guess before we close up with the songs too, I need to talk a little bit about Bing Crosby. So
Please do.
Bing Crosby is, I don't even want to say this, Bing Crosby is the shitbag of the week.
When you told me all this, I couldn't believe it about Bing.
Bing Crosby was, I guess when he was popular, he had an image of being like the ultimate family man. And I don't think he was a really nice guy. And I don't want to get into too much about it because this is our Christmas episode. And I know we had one of our Facebook listeners jokingly said he was going to stop following us if I made him the shitbag of the week. But I'm sorry, but he's the shitbag of the week. Just he cheated on his wife like a lot. And they said there was a couple times that he would have his friends over at Christmas time and he would get drunk and start telling stories about cheating on his wife in front of his kids. He was a big golfing buddy with Bugsy Siegel, the mobster. And he also liked to hang out with Jack McGum, who was one of the guys who did the shooting at the St. Valentine's Day massacre.
Jesus.
So, he was a gambling addict. But the biggest thing that he's really a shitbag about was, the way he treated his kids. And keep in mind that Bing Crosby had, I think it was like 7 children. One of his kids wrote a book saying what a bad dude dad was. One of the kids came out and said, yeah, this is all true. Some of the other kids said the kid is full of shit. So take that all with a grain of salt. There's 2 sides to every story, but
controversy.
Somebody's got to be the shitbag of the week. And they said that he would call his son Gary, I guess who had a weight problem. He called him bucket butt and satchel ass.
Fuck him. What a fucking asshole.
And when he was 7, Bing Crosby would weigh the kid once a week, and if he gained too much weight, he would beat him. He said his dad beat him so much that he would beat him till he drew blood. And he said that his son said he endured the pain by fantasizing about how one time he was going to grow up and he was going to murder Bing Crosby.
Wow.
They said the dad would get home by 6 and the beatings would start by 6:05. And he said that Bing Crosby would hold a cane like a baseball bat, like a batter.
The fuck's
and would
wrong with
wind
him?
up and hit him.
We got bad day at the studio, pal.
Yeah.
Go lay some fucking brick and tell me how fucking hard life is.
Bing's other son said that this story is all true. One of his other sons came out and said that the kid that wrote the book is a crybaby and that the beatings that Bing Crosby gave all of them really toughened them up as adults.
Yeah, he probably treats his kids the same fucking way.
He would do stuff like, if the kids had to eat everything on their plate. And if one of the kids, they said one of the kids one time didn't want to eat everything and he hid some food under a carpet and Bing made him pull the carpet up and eat it off the floor with like hair and all this crap all over it. If his kids left their laundry laying around, he would make his one son wear like dirty underwear around his neck for a night and stuff like that. All 4 of Bing Crosby's kids wound up becoming alcoholics. I mean, Bing Crosby had a drinking problem as well. 2 of his kids actually wound up committing suicide.
No way.
Yeah. So
good old dad.
They said, and some of that was around money. Like his kids didn't work. They kind of lived off dad and some investments went south and the money was kind of dried up. And then when Bing Crosby died, he put the money in a trust fund for the kids, but they weren't allowed to touch it until they're 65.
Wow.
So a lot of them kind of like things dried up and it led them to, they had some problems and some stuff like that. But Bing Crosby, not the nicest guy in the world. Shitbag of the week.
I'm glad Frank Sinatra knocked him out of the fucking world.